Good morning, friends.
Good morning. Happy Sunday.
We're so happy to be here with you once again. We're coming to you live from Playa Hermosa, Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful day.
Gorgeous day today.
The birds
nice
are chirping.
Breeze, a little fresh up here in the mountain, eh, Dave?
So thank you for taking some time out of your Sunday morning to be with us, to listen to us. And we've got a really wonderful show planned today, Carly. I'm really excited.
Such a fun show planned, and something that I'm really excited to explore and talk about as well, because I don't know a lot about the topics we're going to talk about today. So I'm super stoked for that. And wherever you're coming from today, wherever you're tuning in from, tell us in the comments.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Fascinating. Our show flies through the internet, north, south, east, and west. We have viewers tuning in from around the world, and I guess they connect for inspiration, because we always interview inspiring people, and today is no exception. Today we will be interviewing Michelle Burns.
Tell us about Michelle. You know Michelle pretty well.
Michelle has had a very big impact on my life because she karma tribed life coaching to me over a period of about a year and a half, and I can't even begin to explain how much of an impact it had on my life. It is still having on my life. Mm-hmm. She taught me all kinds of tools to stay organized and grounded and focused and deal with anxiety, and how to break through personal blocks that I have in my subconscious. And
it's very obvious when Dave speaks about her that he's very inspired by her. And I feel like he's spoken about her so many times that I already kind of know her, but I'm just meeting her this morning, and so I'm super excited to
she's a healer.
Yeah.
She's been doing life coaching for 25 years, and she's been helping people break through some crazy traumas and things that are just weighing down on them, and she helps heal them from those. So I really admire the work she does.
Yes, me too.
And life coaching has become a little almost cliche nowadays. There's been a real popularization of life coaching, and it seems like there's lots of different people doing life coaching, but I think Michelle is really the real deal, and she's been doing it for a long time, and so it's truly going to be a special opportunity today.
Yay! Well, you guys have a treat this morning.
And we're going to ask her about the masculine and feminine energies, which she'll tell us about it. But apparently we each, whether you're man or woman, you have these two dimensions within you. And so it'll be very interesting to learn from her about that.
Very cool.
How's your masculine energy, Carly?
Well, I don't know. You tell me, Dave.
Well,
I fancy myself a little bit of a girly girl, but I don't really know about masculine and feminine energy.
I saw you chewing tobacco earlier.
Yes. I was embracing my inner masculine energy there.
But no, Carly, seriously, you're a woman who gets stuff done, and go around town.
So would that be considered masculine energy, getting stuff done?
I think so. Well, let's stop with our theorizing on this, and let's call in an expert. So without any further ado, I would like to bring in Michelle Burns.
Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. Great to have you.
How are ya?
Hi, Carly. Hi, Dave. I'm doing good. The video is a bit choppy. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you well.
Okay, good. I can hear you better now. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Great. We're doing great. I'm so excited to learn about you this morning. Like I was saying to Dave, I feel like I kind of already know you a little bit, because he's been speaking about you since really the very beginning, from when I first started doing the show with him. And, every day he's giving me little tidbits about how you've helped him. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you're from and how you were drawn to life coaching and what you're doing now.
So I'm from Prince Edward Island on the east coast of Canada, but I grew up in Toronto. And I had I'm back on the island now. I've traveled around quite a bit and recently just came back home. I'm back on PEI now. But how I came to coaching, I had a very kind of a challenging childhood with a lot of trauma. And early, as an adult, I actually had a really profound kind of spiritual awakening experience that happened to me right out of the blue. I wasn't looking for anything. It just kind of happened. And that kind of got me on this path of kind of healing and recovery and transformation. And every time I found something that worked for me, like I was committed to living life well. I wanted to wake up every day and be excited about life. I wanted to thrive. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be happy. And I knew it was possible. And I knew I had a lot of challenges to deal with, but I was committed to doing it. And every time I found something that worked for me, I wanted to teach everyone else. I wanted everyone else to feel good too. So I started, it's like, well, I found this thing. Let me try it on you. And so I started working with people. I started teaching yoga, and I had a yoga studio. And then I was running into, I love change. I'm one of these people that I really kind of thrive on change. So for me, one time in particular where I was going through a big change, I got stuck. And I was just kind of asking, like, who do I need to talk to? Someone must have been here before and can help me overcome the challenge I'm facing right now.
Right.
And not long after reading, kind of thinking about it, I read an article in a newspaper about life coaching. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, that is exactly what I need. And that's what I'm going to do. And I knew right away that that's what I would be doing. So I worked with a coach, and she really helped me. And then I got trained and certified. And I've been kind of in ongoing training and certification ever since, to be honest with you, like for 25 years. So
that's amazing. So this life coach of yours obviously really completely changed your life, sent you in a positive direction. Do you still stay in touch with your life coach?
Yeah, I have stayed in touch with her, actually. So,
awesome. Yeah. That's amazing. So like you were saying, you were kind of trying to think of, other people must have gone through what I've gone through, so they can potentially help me. So when you go through coaching someone, doing life coaching with someone, how do you, what if you can't relate to them? What if you haven't been through that before? What type of advice do you give to them then if you can't specifically relate to the block that they're going through?
Right. Well, it's interesting because it doesn't really matter, because I've been in lots of situations where people are dealing with a challenge that I haven't been through. Mm-hmm. But it's usually the thing that's going on at the surface is generally not the issue. It's generally like deeper underneath. So I am a transformational coach, and I work from the inside out. So I'm not actually like the problem that they come with is usually not what we deal with. So we dig in, and there's generally some kind of a trauma, a belief, a stuck emotion, some kind of a barrier that's internal, and we deal with it at that level, and then they change their behavior and they resolve their issue at the surface. So it doesn't really matter. Like I've worked with a lot of women on weight loss issues. I've never had a weight issue, but I've had trauma, and I've had underlying emotional issues, and I have worked through those, and often that's the underlying cause. So I've dealt with a lot of really deep, dark emotions, trauma, limiting beliefs, and those that they're usually the root of most problems anyway. Right.
So is there any, and obviously I know you need to, for professional purposes, keep it anonymous, but are there any stories you can share with us specifically about like somebody that was going through some sort of block, and then how you kind of started the initial steps, digging down into like what the root cause of it was, just so we can understand a little bit more about, where you even start with somebody that's going through difficulties?
Yeah. So, well, it's an interesting thing because there's like 5 steps that go on in every single challenge. So say if somebody came, okay, let me just think about a specific thing. So say if I'm going to use a couple, because there's a lot of people have issues in relationships, like communicating, right? So say if there was an incident in a relationship and someone got angry. So I'll usually, often what's going on is there's something really beneath the surface that's triggering. So say if I got angry, I'm going to just make something up actually. So say if I got angry at you because you said something that upset me. I'm trying to think of a specific thing. So say if you were late today, and I was all ready, and I took a whole bunch of time to get ready, and you showed up late. Like, being late's an issue for me. So say if you were late, and you showed up, and I got upset with you. That's actually not really the issue. The issue is there's something beneath the surface. Like, I might, so if I stripped it down a little bit, I'd say, so the incident was Carly showed up late. What I made it mean about me is that, she doesn't respect me, that I don't matter, that I'm unworthy of her time and attention and respect. And so what I felt was shame, and I felt disrespected. And then I made up a story like, no one ever shows up for me, I don't matter. And then my behavior is I withdraw, and I get upset, and I cut you off, and I shut down. So there's always this 5-step process. There's the incident, there's what we make it mean about us, there's how we feel, then there's a story we make up about it, and then there's a behavior. And that scenario shows up all the time. So it's kind of easy to trace back once you understand how it works. And if I can help people trace back to the original incident and see what they made it mean about them, and then deal with the emotion, then they change their story and they change their behavior. And often what's happening, though, is that people they're stuck in the story. Like, they really make that story true, and they keep telling themselves the story over again. Like, no one cares about me. Carly doesn't care about me. Carly doesn't respect me. Carly never shows up. It's a story we make, right? Where Carly could have been late, and Michelle's just being overreacting, because she's got an issue with feeling like no one cares about her, or people aren't showing up for her, or because maybe someone didn't show up for her earlier in life, right?
Right.
So you'll see those 5 steps show up everywhere. So we can usually trace the incident back to something else, heal it at that level, and then then they go and change the current thing. Is a lot easier to address once we've resolved the underlying core issue.
Right. That's super interesting, because as you're even saying that, I'm thinking, like, I'm relating to that a little bit, because, I can sometimes feel that way as well. At work, someone doesn't want to, I'm working at selling publicity, and maybe somebody doesn't want to continue working with me, or it's not working for somebody, and I take it personally. And then it's like, I'm not doing a good job. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not going to be successful at doing it, and you kind of go into this like crazy negative feedback loop in your head, and you do make it about you, when really maybe it wasn't really personal at all. It was professional, and separating that is difficult. Yeah.
Exactly. And so what I would say is, Carly, what are the facts? And you could say the facts are that I was working with this person, and all of a sudden they don't want to work with me anymore. Like, okay, so what's next? Like, if we take the whole story and the drama out of it, then you can be practical, and you can connect with yourself. You're more resourceful. And then you can just say, okay, so who's my next client, right? Or who can I work with next, and less this person and let them go, right? And you get on with your life. But we stay in that story, and we get stuck in it, and we create, and then we make it true, and then we keep attracting that experience over and over again.
Right.
And that's a pattern. So that's how people create patterns, and they stay stuck in them.
And that must be incredibly difficult to get out of that, because we are like creatures of habit. So getting out of that negative thinking is something I'm sure is very, very difficult. Like, what kind of things do you recommend? Like, in just, off the top of your head, in terms of like setting your mind straight and getting out of that? Well,
people are always trying to make the change at the level of thinking, right? And that's it's only at the top level. So what I say with every one of those situations, what are the facts and what are the feelings? Because those are the only things we can deal with. The story isn't true. We made it up. You'll often find, if you really dug the thing out, you will realize the story you're telling yourself is not true. So I always ask people, no matter what the situation is, just write it down. What are the facts and what are the feelings? And then if you could just clear the feelings, I'll talk about that in a minute. But then you can just go, okay, so here's the facts. This person doesn't want to work with me anymore. It's like, okay, I have no idea why. It means nothing about me at all. Just whatever, this thing's over now. What do I need to do next? And then you can move forward. But the emotion needs to be dealt with too. So if you have some tools to deal with emotions, that's actually very useful as well.
Okay, so you talked about clearing emotions.
So emotions, one of the things that I do, have you ever heard of emotional freedom technique?
No.
So it's a really simple but extremely powerful way of effectively neutralizing emotions so that we're not emotionally overwhelmed. So say if I was angry, I don't know if I have time on the show to show you the EFT, but you know what, Carly? I'm going to offer a free class soon, so I'm going to give Dave the information. So if anyone's interested in learning how to deal with and neutralize emotions, because that's an amazing tool to have. Like just
amazing.
That you can do if you're angry, if you're sad, if you're upset, if you're heartbroken, it will neutralize it in a few minutes. You can just take it down, and then you're in your much more resourceful state, and you can take action and move forward. And that's one thing that most people don't know how to do is neutralize those emotions. So then they stuff the emotion, and then they still feel internally restricted because emotionally there's some intensity there. Mm-hmm. But if you can clear the emotion, deal with the facts, and then you can make really powerful decisions to move forward.
Amazing. Okay, well, that's going to be accessible to everybody then. Michelle's going to send all of the information, like you said, to Dave. So you'll have to check out Karma Tribe, check out the page, check out the website, and we'll have that information for you then. That's amazing. Thank you. What a gift you're going to give.
Yes.
It's something we can for sure all benefit from. I know I'm going to check it out for sure.
So I'm going to make it, it's going to be free for Karma Tribe members. So if anyone's watching and you're not a member, sign up.
Awesome. Sign up. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for the plug. All right, you heard her, ladies and gents. Sign up. So awesome. Well, before I get Dave on here, I just wanted to touch a little bit on kind of what we spoke about earlier, because we wanted to talk a little bit about masculine and feminine energies. So when I say like when we say that we're going to talk about masculine and feminine energies, what exactly comes to mind in in terms of that? Because I'm not really 100% sure, like what differences there are.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a really big topic, but I wanted to just address a few things today because a few of the things that people, some of the common things I see with people coming to me, especially lately, is that people want to know what their life purpose is. They want to do work that's meaningful. They're feeling unhappy and they don't know why. Mm-hmm. They're feeling disconnected. People like anxiety and depression are like epidemic. Addiction is a big, huge problem. Or people, the other common theme that I hear a lot right now is that people are working so hard, they're burnt out and they're dissatisfied. It's like, I'm working so hard. I have enough money. I have all the toys. I have everything I want. I have a good relationship. I have kids. Everything's fine. Something's missing and I don't know what it is. So this is the reason why I think the discussion about masculine and feminine energy is really important, because I was taking a look at what's going on, especially with these people that have everything and there's a disconnect. What's going on with that? Or some people who are really kind of grounded and happy, but they're not manifesting. So we always find one or the other. And so this idea with connecting with our feminine essence, it's bringing your awareness inside. I'm going to do a quick little exercise with you guys when Dave comes on too. I'll do it with both of you. But it's more about understanding, where the feminine essence is in the body and where the masculine essence. And the feminine essence is like, if you want to find the spot, like the kind of home of it in our physical body, it's about 2 inches below the navel and directly back towards your spine. So as soon as you bring your awareness there, you're in your body. You're more present. And when people are in their head thinking, or they're in fear and they're disconnected, they're kind of outside their body. As soon as you start bringing your awareness onto the inside of your body, you're present. You can only be happy in the present moment. Sure. When you're worried about the future or you're thinking about the past, you're not present. And happiness is found in the present moment. And people feel grounded. They feel more connected. When they're in their body. So if you bring your awareness to that spot, this is the home of our feminine essence. If you know about the chakra system, it's around the second chakra, right? Just below the navel. Mm-hmm. And this is also this is where the feminine essence is. And this is also the home of our emotions, our intuition, our creativity. It's like, if you want to be creative and innovative and, intuitive, sensuality, sexuality is all there at that second chakra. That's the feminine essence. And it's not about man and woman, okay? Because everyone has feminine essence and everyone has masculine essence. It's But we want it, I mean, ideally, we want women to lead with their feminine essence and we want men to lead with their masculine, but we want to be connected with both. So the feminine essence is there at that lower chakra. And then our heart center, when our heart is open, we experience love, kindness, care, gratitude, compassion. When our heart's open, energy's flowing from the feminine out through the heart and then up to the masculine is at the third eye. So masculine energy is, when you were saying to Dave earlier, oh, is that me getting things done? Is that my masculine energy? And yes, it is. So the masculine is more, it's intellectual, motivation, it's focus, it is getting things done. It can be more competitive. It can be more physical. But we want to have it in that order. Like, if you think about this, we want to connect with our feminine essence first. And have our intuition, like connect and our inner knowing, our purpose, what's right for us. If we connect with our feminine essence, we'll get the ideas, we'll get the creative inspiration that's right for us. And then if our heart's open, the energy travels right up. And then we use our masculine energy, our intellect, our motivation to actually manifest our ideas in the world.
All right.
But what's going on with most people is our culture really supports and honors masculine energy, right? It's like get things done, be productive, be successful, accumulate. But when the masculine's disconnected from the feminine, we're just intellectually thinking, what should I do? And we're focused on the outside. We're doing what we've been told we should do. Like, you should get a good job. You should be in a relationship. You should be doing this. So it's disconnected from what's right for us. And then we take jobs to make money, to pay bills, to keep up with the neighbors. And, like, we want to accumulate things and we want to, appear successful. But that's that's the people who are really busy overworking, burning themselves out. And they're saying something's missing. It's like, it has nothing to do with them. And because the motivation didn't come from the feminine, from their intuition. Like, our intuition will guide us in the right direction 100% of the time.
Right.
So if people want to experience more satisfaction, more fulfillment, more joy, more creativity, innovation, more sensuality and sexuality and spaciousness, then you want to connect with your feminine. And then keep your heart open. Like, if you've got grudges and anger and resentment, your heart's contracted.
Right.
So the energy's not flowing from the bottom. It's, we usually disconnect, and then you'll either be connected to your feminine or you'll be connected to the masculine, but there's a disconnect at the heart. Right. So it's important that we keep all three of these. Like, anyone who does yoga or meditates, we always know we're always looking for this alignment. You want to line up the feminine, the heart, and then the masculine. Keep this in the line, and we want it in that order. And we don't want to start, if you think, well, I want to make some change in my life. What do I want to do? And you engage with the masculine, you're thinking of what you should do instead of connecting with your intuition, right?
Right.
It's only ever good enough to get you what you've already got. It's not wrong. It's just disconnected, and it's only good enough to get you what you've already got. If you want to create something new and you want to be innovative, you want to connect with feminine essence first, and then open your heart, and then engage with the masculine to get it. Right?
I could sit here and talk to you for ages about this. I want to know, okay, and how do I connect to my feminine essence?
Exactly. Because
oh my goodness, like, this show's never gonna end. You're super interesting. I love listening to you.
It's an important part.
It makes complete sense. And as you're saying it, I'm like, okay, like, wow, it's incredibly interesting. And I personally am hearing all of this for the first time. So that's really, really cool. You said that maybe you wanted to do a little exercise. Dave and I, should I bring him on?
Sure.
Davey, come on over.
I'm back. Hello.
Hi, Dave.
Fascinating stuff, Michelle. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So what is this exercise we're going to do?
Well, so I wanted to give you kind of a practical little exercise that you could do that to show you how you can use, how you can engage with the feminine and how you can engage with your heart and then the masculine to solve any kind of problem that you have in your life. How about that?
Whoa.
That sounds like an excellent, worthwhile exercise.
So to start with, and you don't need to tell me what it is, but I want both of you to think about, and the audience, whoever's listening, think about something that's bothering you in your life right now. And just like it can be a small problem or a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you just keep it in your awareness. You don't need to tell me what it is. Dave, do you have something?
Yes.
Dave's got quite a life. He can't even think of one problem.
It took me a little while, actually.
No.
That's great. I was instantly like, all right, I've got it.
No, I'd be like, which of the 10 things?
Yeah.
All right. So this is so what we're going to do. I'm going to take you through just a little meditation exercise, and we're going to connect with the feminine essence. And we're going to ask a question about what you need to do, and then we're going to open the heart, and then we're going to get the action steps from your masculine essence and get some steps about how you need to move forward. Okay. So have the challenge you're dealing with in your awareness, and we're going to set an intention that you're going to get some information about what your next step is and what you need to do to move forward. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to invite you to do is just close your eyes and connect with your breath. Okay. And you can place your hands. It's really good to put your hands there because it really brings your attention there, but just place your hands on your lower abdomen. Just so we're bringing the awareness 2 inches below your navel and directly back towards your spine. And imagine that there's a soft glowing light there. And as you breathe and as you engage with the feminine essence, it's starting to get brighter and more radiant. And then you can ground that energy down, sending that energy down through your legs and through your feet down into the earth. Okay, and then bringing your awareness back and really connecting with that feminine essence. And we're going to ask a question, but I don't want you to get in your head answering. Okay, be aware of the current challenge and connect with your feminine essence. And just ask, what do I need to know to move forward? Okay, and just leave the question there and then draw your awareness up to your heart center, and you can just place your hands right over the center of your chest and imagine that you're breathing into your heart and breathe out from your heart as well. Okay, and allow your heart to soften. And engage with heart-centered emotions like care, kindness, love, gratitude. Okay, and then from there, bring your awareness up to your, right in between your eyebrows, and you can just put one hand there or your fingers right there on your forehead, right between your eyebrows. And this is the home of your masculine essence. And it's right between the eyebrows, if you can imagine drawing a line straight back, and then a line, right between the temples, drawing a line straight through. And if you find that place where they intersect, that's the home of the masculine essence. Okay, and just keeping your awareness there. Okay, this is where your, the home of your willpower, your intellect, reason, focus. I'm capable. And from here, just asking, what action step do I need to take? Okay, so we get the idea from the feminine, the creative idea from the feminine. We open our heart and then just ask, what action step do I need to take? What's one step that I can take that will move me in the direction of resolution? Okay. And then just slowly bring your awareness back to the call. make a commitment to take action. Okay. So Dave, did you feel like you got a message and an action step to take?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And I think it was something that I already like knew all along that I needed to do, but now I got like a clear message about it.
Yeah,
I agree with
And
David.
yeah, you too, Carly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so usually when our intuition is speaking to us, it's very simple. Like it will often give us simple things, but sometimes they're the things that we really don't want to do. We know, like Dave said, I already knew it, but we either didn't want to do it or we weren't sure if that was the right thing or we're hesitating on it. But once you get that information from your intuition and then you take action, it starts to strengthen. Your intuition gets stronger. You start to trust yourself more. You start to have more confidence. You feel more embodied, like more comfortable in your own body. And it just grows the more you do it. I just did a very simple exercise with you, but that's the gist of it. And if you just do the action, what I just showed you, that very simple thing, you can start to get information from your intuition. And you really want to, especially for women, we really want to continue to connect with our feminine essence and lead with it. Keep your heart open, stay soft, stay present. And then for men, they connect with their feminine essence, but lead with the masculine. So, it's a bit more like if you want to get things done, get motivated, be organized, more structure, probably a bit more, like for men, it's more being competitive, being more physical. And that's when they lead with the masculine energy, then they feel more themselves. And ultimately, we want to have like anyone who's connected with their feminine energy, but then also aligned with the heart open and leading with the masculine or using the masculine too. Really high functioning, fully engaged, powerful people. So that's ideally what we want.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Powerful stuff.
It's a very, very nice exercise and experience.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna say hello to some of our viewers.
Yay.
Hello, Linda.
Hey, Mom.
Great to have you joining in. She says hi there from Perry Sound. We miss you, Linda.
Bye, Linda.
We have Amuda saying hello from Morocco. Thanks for the Facebook Live. A lot to learn from you guys. Hugs. Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for joining us from Morocco, Hamuda. And we have David McDougall. Manitoba loves the show, he says. Aw. Awesome. Thank you, David, for tuning in.
Hi, Daddy.
Such wonderful vibes.
Awesome.
David, how's your feminine essence this morning? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments, Dad.
So, all right, Michelle, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions.
Awesome. I'm going to leave you with her because I feel like you're going to get into some deep stuff here.
Yeah, and I'm going to do a lot of arm motions.
Thanks for chatting with me, Michelle. See you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Carly.
Oh, Michelle, so much interesting stuff here. So, what can you remind us again? What would a life that is a little bit missing the feminine energy look like, and what would a life that's missing a little bit the masculine energy look like?
Good, that's a great question. So a life that's missing the feminine essence is somebody who's, someone could be really organized, focused, structured, busy, getting things done. I really went from both extremes. So I was a stockbroker early on in my life, and I was really driven. I had lists, my to-do lists every single day. I was going like full out, checking everything off my list, getting things done. I was a doer. And I was really aggressive, but I was getting burnt out. It's like because I wasn't rejuvenating. There wasn't a lot of warmth. I wasn't the most nurturing person to myself or others. I was kind of like really kind of busy and focused and driven. So when you're disconnected, and I was dissatisfied, I wasn't, and I couldn't figure out what was missing. And I kept thinking, well, how much more money do I need? Like how much more stuff do I need? Before I actually start to feel good and enjoy this. And I just wasn't experiencing any joy. And then the pendulum swung completely to the other side, and I became a yoga teacher, and I was kind of blissed out in all my feminine essence, and I became a lot more nurturing to myself and others, and I was, more creative, but I was disconnected from the masculine. So sometimes when I was wanting to get things done and, be a bit more focused, I had more of a tough time with that. So a lot of times when people are more masculine, just, completely disconnected from the feminine, they're in their masculine. We actually see this a lot. They tend to focus on external. The feminine essence is really our power. There's a lot of power in it, and people think it's weak. There's nothing weak about it at all. And so people, when they're disconnected from it, they look to outside sources of power and the symbols of power, like, our titles, our toys, our all of the external things to, if I'm more powerful, if I'm wealthy, and if I have the bigger house and the car and the job and the title, and, so those are symbols of power, and they're missing the real power because they're disconnected from the feminine essence. So when we have too much feminine essence, we're tuned into that energy. We can be more creative, more nurturing, more flowing, more going with the flow, more grounded, but we lack the ability to manifest. And you'll see a lot of people who are more spiritual, they're more earthy types, but a lot of them struggle to get their businesses off the ground, to make money, to manifest material in the world because they're not engaged with their masculine. And we need to keep both. And I mean, here's another problem that I ran into quite often, because once I understood this and I understood that the balance needs to happen, I would get the ideas, and like I can sit and meditate and get the most amazing inspiration, but then I would disconnect from the feminine, connect with my masculine, and go and try and manifest this thing. But then now all the ideas are coming from my head about how it should happen. I'm controlling it, I'm pushing it, and ultimately I burn out, because I'm disconnected from the feminine again. So my thing was learning how to keep the engaged with the feminine and masculine together, and continue to operate that way. So.
Makes total sense. I can relate to that. I feel like sometimes I have some creative, kind of like contemplative time and inspiration, and then I can like switch gears and go into like more masculine mode of thinking. But I can see how being balanced throughout would be way more efficient and beneficial.
Yeah, and Dave, especially in business too. Like, I mean, it's kind of a tough conversation to have with corporate CEOs that getting into their feminine essence is going to benefit their business, but the buzzwords these days, and the big thing is to be more creative and innovative to remain relevant. That's the feminine essence. So learning, like for business people, for anyone who's running a business, to learn how to connect with feminine essence, to be more creative, to be more innovative, to get ideas, and then connect with the masculine to manifest it. That's a really powerful person.
Michelle, this is fascinating stuff. Now, you are also a sacred sexuality teacher, right?
Yeah.
And I just find that like very fascinating and intriguing, and we don't really have time to like go into it in depth, but does having a good balance within yourself of masculine and feminine energy, is that like the foundation for having a sacred sexual relationship?
Yeah, Dave, I'm happy you connected with that, especially on this topic, because it's the exact same thing. I mean, when we look at ancient traditional cultures, Tantra, That's exactly what it's about, right? Tantra is about connecting with your feminine essence and your masculine essence. And at the second chakra, okay, so the place, you know, at the beginning when I just did that exercise, the home of our feminine essence is at what they call the second chakra. For, you know, if you're familiar with there's 7 chakras in our body. At the second chakra is the home of the feminine essence. And that's where emotions get blocked. And so if we're not dealing with our emotions and we're not being creative and we're not engaging, it actually interferes with our sexual energy. So our sexual energy is, you know, at one level, it is about, you know, the movement of our, and the desire and, you know, orgasm and sexual energy. But at the next level, it's innovative, it's creative, and we can use it. We can actually use that energy to manifest in our lives. And we do want to. So yeah, they are. And by doing this, by connecting with the feminine energy, doing emotional work, like clearing emotional blocks and doing things that are creative, painting, dancing, singing, anything that's creative keeps that energy open and keeps that energy moving. So we do feel more vitality. Yeah. And it does has an amazing impact on our sex lives.
Well,
another bonus. Yeah.
We'll have to have you back on for a special sacred sex episode.
Yeah,
for viewers 18 and up.
Exactly.
We're kind of running over time, but I have this other question that is coming to mind. And as we say on Blissin now, there's no such thing as foolish questions.
Yeah.
So is there is the balance of feminine and masculine essence in society, is there such a thing, or is it simply the sum of, you know, just all the individual balances of masculine and feminine? Or is there like a societal kind of because I remember a friend of mine who is very intuitive. She told me that she felt that here in this town in Costa Rica where we live, she felt like there was really like the feminine energy was very diminished and there was a very masculine kind of energy around here. And so I was wondering if there's such a thing in your opinion.
Yeah, I do. I believe I do believe that different places have you know, have the essence will shift. Like Hawaii is a very feminine essence. Like I went to Hawaii. I love Hawaii. You get into some of the big cities like Toronto and Vancouver are two that where I've, you know, spent quite a bit of time. There's a lot more masculine energy. So and cultures, like our whole society, actually, if you're, well, North America, let's put it that way, because with the Industrial Revolution, it was all about getting things done. It was about building. It was about pushing. It's about business. And, you know, so that's very masculine essence. And that's how a lot of people did get disconnected from the feminine. And then we view the feminine as being soft and we view it as being weak. And that is definitely not true. Like there's nothing weak about the feminine essence at all. So, and I do believe like there's an interesting thing going on right now, obviously, with the whole Me Too movement where women, you know, a lot of women have been, I'm not painting women as victims at all, and I don't want to really get it too much into that discussion, but it's an important time for the feminine essence because if women don't feel comfortable or safe in their, you know, that it's okay for them to be in their feminine essence and for them to be sensual or sexual without being, you know, without the potential for being harmed, then they're going to shut that down and they're going to lead with their masculine, which you see a lot. And I think that we are, as a culture, we do, like a lot of women that I know that are more tuned into their feminine, they neutralize it and lead with their masculine when they're out at work and when they're out, you know, doing things in life. Maybe when they get home or when they're in a safe environment, they connect more with their feminine. But I think as a society, you will see in a lot of places, you'll see it. There's more feminine essence in a city or in a town or on an island. And it definitely, and you can feel it too. Once you start to connect with it in yourself and you start noticing the difference, it's like, oh yes, this is my feminine essence and this is my masculine. Anywhere you go, you'll feel it. You'll notice it in people You'll notice it in the environment. So yeah, definitely.
And Michelle, one last question. Is the feminine and masculine balance of essences, is that the same as the yin and the yang?
I want to say yes. I'm going to have to think about that, Dave. But, because I tend to think of yin and yang. But yeah, I guess so. Like, I just hadn't really thought about it in those terms. But I tend to think of, our dark side and our light side and shadow work. When I'm doing shadow work, I tend to think of yin and yang instead of masculine and feminine essence. But I guess you could look at it that way too.
Well, I think that maybe yin and yang is a universal principle that applies to like many different types of like dualities that make up our existence. Like, for example, matter and space. You can't have matter without space. Like, so I think, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. It is actually. It is now that I'm just like wasn't thinking along those lines, but yes, it definitely is. Yeah.
Well, Michelle, it has truly been delightful. Thank you so much for joining us today and talking about these fascinating and important subjects. Definitely gonna put your offer up on Karma Tribe for anyone to learn that emotional freedom technique.
Yeah, because Dave, and the reason why I want to offer that too, because again, the home of the feminine essence, that's also where we, emotions get blocked. So learning how to process emotions keeps that center clear so that we can express more of our feminine essence. So I'm very happy to offer that to your Karma Tribe, and I'll send you some details about that and look forward to it.
Wonderful. Well,
thank you so much for having me on. Really
all right. Thank you, Michelle. It's been delightful and hope to have you back on the show again soon.
Thanks, Dave. And thanks, Carly.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Well, that was delightful, was it not?
Michelle's a badass lady boss.
Yes, she is.
Oh my gosh. She's so knowledgeable. I literally could have sat here. Like, we've been, talking with her for like an hour, and I'm literally like, but it's not enough time. But her time is obviously precious. She's very knowledgeable. And I could see now when you say, like, she's helped so many people and, like, all by, like, mostly word of mouth. And, like, has she, had found her clients and things like that she works with. And, like, she's amazing. She's so cool. And I'm so excited that she's going to be offering some of her amazing free knowledgeable services to Karma Drivers.
Yeah.
We are lucky duckies.
Absolutely. So, well, why don't we get into the favors of the week?
All right.
So this is favors from karmatribe.com.
Oh, wait, let's throw it up.
Put it up on the screen there, Carls.
How do I do it? Here we go. Karma Tribe, .com, and a show.
This is our platform for sharing love.
Yes.
Putting love into action by actually offering free help to people in whatever you feel like you want to share, and you can request help with anything you need. I think giving and receiving can also be seen as a kind of masculine feminine duality.
For sure, I can see that.
And we have to be open to both in order to create a more beautiful world.
Absolutely.
So our first favor of the week is a request from Joe J. Hanna VA 1104 in San Jose, Costa Rica.
Woo.
She asks for help with travel.
All right.
She says, soon I will make a trip to do an exam to be eligible for a scholarship.
Amazing.
At this moment, I cannot afford the cost of the ticket. If someone has miles that they will not use and can help me, I would appreciate it very much.
Yeah, if you've collected air miles and stuff, throw some her way. That's an amazing opportunity for you. Congratulations.
That's a great example of something that for one person can be very small if you're not going to use them. And for another person, it can make the difference between getting a scholarship and getting on a whole new educational path. Amazing. So that's amazing. And
so share it up. I love
Beautiful
it.
stuff.
And thank you for being so open to ask for that.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, we have an offer from Michelle Unique in Huntington Beach, California, offering solo travel tips. I've traveled 39 countries, most of them alone. And I'd love to chat and give you tips or answer any questions you have about traveling alone. That's amazing. If you're going to do some solo travel, Michelle can hook you up with some info. And that's really cool that you've done so much traveling, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle, for generously sharing your wisdom to the tribe. Next, we have an offer from Alejandro Vergara in Mar del Plata, Buenos Aires, Argentina. He offers image design, and I believe that this favor is actually written in Spanish, but here we'll read it to you in English.
I did my best to translate.
He says, I can help you create a visually creative logo, flyer, etc. to improve the message that you want to convey. So thank you, Alejandro, for your generosity.
Awesome.
So, yeah, image design.
Sweet.
Very important stuff.
Coming all the way from
Mar del Plata.
Argentina.
We are seeing an explosion of favors in Mar del Plata.
Thank you, Argentinians. All right. An offer from Daniel Berg in San Luis Obispo, California, offering video editing. I'm a graphic designer that can help you tell your story on the small screen. I can help capture your thoughtful, ethical endeavors on film. Very cool. So if there's something that you want to capture on film, tell your story on the small screen, Daniel can help you out. Very cool.
And I want to say that I actually accepted this favor, but
Woohoo!
evidently he's
Thanks
keeping it
for
open for
accepting.
multiple people,
Amazing.
and he's going to help us with some Karma Tribe videos.
Love it, Daniel.
And he's a very,
Rock.
very nice guy.
Sweet. And good job. Good accepting.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I guess it's my feminine energy
There you go.
opening up, accepting.
I see your little light down there.
You see a bright light 2 inches below my navel? It could just be a reflection off my belt.
Woo.
We have an offer from Mariana in San Jose, Costa Rica, offering Spanish lessons.
Yay.
I offer Spanish lessons or practice hours so that you can communicate better your ideas and feel connected with others.
Mariana, I love that one.
How much did it change your life learning Spanish, Carly?
Changed it immensely, and I'm still learning. I of course, now I feel blessed enough to be kind of like an advanced beginner.
Tú hablas muy bien.
I can communicate, but it's about having the confidence to communicate, and sometimes you just need a little bit extra practice, someone to talk to like have that confidence. So Mariana, maybe I'm gonna send you a message.
Muchas gracias, Mariana, for your generosity.
Yes.
And thank you to everyone
Yay!
who offered beautiful favors on Karma Tribe.
Everyone rocks.
And for joining us this morning for this beautiful conversation. It has been a delight.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Michelle, for sharing your wisdom. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Carly.
Thank you, Dave.
Have a great day, everyone, and see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a great day.